The June 18 transition. Gemini CLI versus Antigravity CLI. This is an engineering teardown of performance telemetry, multi-agent architecture, and token economics. Here's the transition landscape. Cut off on June 18, 2026. The free and individual tier. Google AI Pro at $19.99 a month, and Google AI Ultra at $249.99 a month. All must migrate, with Pro users needing to check caps and Ultra users getting uncapped access. Unaffected, with indefinite access, Gemini Code Assist Standard, Gemini Code Assist Enterprise, and paid API keys via GCP. No action needed. In short, a forced upgrade in 30 days. The open-source Apache 2.0 Node.js ecosystem transitions to a closed-source Go binary. Enterprise Standard and Enterprise licenses are uniquely spared. This is a genuine architectural shift from single-agent to multi-agent. Legacy Gemini reads context, reasons on a main thread, and writes output, built on Node.js, single-agent, synchronous. Antigravity introduces the AGI orchestrator, which delegates to a data cleaning subagent, an ASD analysis subagent, and a reporting subagent, built in Go, multi-agent orchestrator, asynchronous. Antigravity fundamentally shifts the terminal from an interactive chat interface to a background workflow engine, executing tasks like large-scale refactors without locking up the terminal session. Performance telemetry shows a clear speed versus consistency trade-off. Gemini CLI's median execution time is around 3.2 seconds, but it shows high jitter and startup noise, warnings and fallback notices creating erratic spikes up to 5.5 seconds. Antigravity runs silently, with plain language narration, holding tight and consistent around 3.97 seconds. Snappier isn't about raw speed. Antigravity trades a slight speed penalty for tight consistency and zero startup noise. On execution capabilities, headless and automation tell the real story. Legacy Gemini CLI fails at headless file edits with a tool not available error, and fails non-interactively at headless shell execution. Background async tasks aren't supported at all. Antigravity CLI is fully capable of headless file edits via the -- dangerously skip permissions flag, executes PyTest, MyPy, and Git directly, and spawns subagents mid-task. The one trade-off, CI/CD auth friction. Gemini CLI is headless-friendly with a simple API key, while Antigravity requires browser OAuth on first run. Antigravity transforms the CLI into an actionable engineer. It can spin up Python virtual environments and run test suites headlessly, whereas Gemini simply describes edits it cannot make. The cost divide is stark. The legacy Gemini free tier offers up to 1,000 requests a day, resetting every 24 hours. The Antigravity free tier depletes in just 4 to 5 multi-agent turns, resetting only every 166 hours, about 7 days. Agentic orchestration fundamentally changes token economics. A single user prompt now spawns dozens of hidden subagent API calls in the background, evaporating the new Antigravity free tier almost instantly. For enterprise scaling, here's the pricing matrix. Google AI Pro, at $19.99 a month, offers 1,000 credits monthly, but enforces strict weekly caps on premium models. Hey users report hitting this cap by midweek, due to background subagent swarms. Google AI Ultra, at $100 to $249.99 a month, offers 25,000 credits monthly with no weekly caps, making it essential for sustained agent workflows. Bulk credits are also available at 1 cent each, or $199 per 20,000 credit pack. Bottom line, AI Pro branding implies room to work, but heavy terminal users must budget for Ultra, or rely on paid API keys connected to a legacy Gemini Code Assist standard license at $19 per user per month. There's also a real security posture to understand: workspace trust and remote code execution. The attack chain: an attacker opens a malicious pull request containing a .gemini/settings.json file. A CI runner triggers headless Gemini CLI. A workspace trust bypass loads that config without a sandbox. And remote code execution follows on the runner. The flaw, tracked as GHSAWPQR6V70HAR5G, headless automatic workspace trust combined with a -- solo mode that bypass tool allow lists. The fix: shipped in version 0.39.1. Strict tool allow lists are now enforced regardless of headless or YOLO state. The takeaway: AI coding agents embedded in CI/CD inherit the execution context of a trusted contributor. Configuration boundaries are as critical as the pipeline itself. So what actually survives the migration? Carries over cleanly: Gemini.md and agents.md context files, JSON event hooks and extensions, imported via the AGI plugin import Gemini command. Needs modification: skills move from .gemini/skills to .agents/skills, and MCP configs move to mcp_config.json, with the URL field renamed to server URL. Lost entirely: open source Apache 2.0 portability, embedded custom themes, and granular settings.json parameter tuning like temperature and top P. Action item: run AGI Doctor to validate your environments before the June 18th cutoff. Zooming out, here's the capability versus cost trade-off across the broader field. Claude Code, running Opus 4.6, scores 77.2% on SWE Bench with a 1 million token context, best for architecture and complex logic, but expensive for multi-step agentic tasks. Antigravity, running Gemini 3.5 Flash or Pro, offers multi-agent orchestration and Go-based speed, best inside the Google ecosystem. Gemini Flash alone is fast, but developers report it gets tired, with a 75% manual takeover rate on extended sessions. The synthesis: never select based purely on benchmark scores. Evaluate based on your specific task distribution and tolerance for API credit burn. This suggests a hybrid workflow strategy. Claude plans: Gemini implements. Phase 1. Claude plans: use premium models like Claude Code or Antigravity Ultra for high cognitive load architecture, identifying design decisions, and debugging subtle logic errors. The rationale: spend credits on reasoning that prevents expensive mistakes. Phase 2. Gemini implements: use faster, cheaper models like Gemini Flash or Gemini CLI via API for mechanical execution, boilerplate, and test scaffolding. The rationale: bounded, mechanical implementation mitigates the fatigue failure mode of cheaper models. This brings us to the ultimate decision matrix. What is your primary constraint? If you require Apache 2.0 portability, specific CI/CD GitHub actions, and fine-grained API keys, then keep Gemini CLI, ensuring enterprise or standard licensing, or use a paid GCP API key. If you need background multi-agent orchestrations, cron scheduling, and are embedded in GCP, then migrate to Antigravity CLI, budgeting explicitly for the ultra tier to avoid caps. And if you require deep, long context, 1 million token complex refactoring and sandboxed PR per task isolation, then adopt Claude Code or Codec CLI. The era of the terminal chat assistant is over. The era of the agentic workflow orchestrator begins June 18th. Choose your engine.